I remember Mike Oliver, and people may know him, who's one of the great promoters of social model disability in the 1980s, saying to me, when I talked about race and disability, he said, Ozzy, you tell me, you prove to me that race ain't got anything to do with disability. Well, I said to him, actually, Mike, I exist on this, I exist, so it does, full stop. I come to the table differently from you. But the challenges are there, and I'll be interested to see how today's discussion goes.
There'll be talk of mediocrity, there'll be talk of racism, of colonialism, imperialism.
Top cat syndrome. It comes from the artist side and it comes from the funder's side. The guy who'd written the note to me said, well, I'm going to put in a grant to the arts, and if you fund him, you wouldn't fund me. And I said, what makes you think that? And he said, because you wouldn't fund 2 disabled artists. So for me, that, only allowing one in is a bit of a problem, but also, even if you're the one in, you should be looking behind you to open the door and encourage people to bring others in.
Speak what we feel, not what we ought to say. There's a couple of reasons why I'm spending a lot of time with those words. One is that it's the basis for a piece of work that I'm about to make. But also, I think now is the hour to speak what we feel, not what we ought to say.
At art college, I studied my sculpture degree. There was a mixture of overt racism from the tutors, using offensive, out-of-date language, and more subtle issues like insisting that I should be referencing African art because I'm black. Being isolated as a black woman, this was not my experience of culture, so I didn't connect to it or bring it into my work.
Succession mapping, of being able to look across theatre, literature, music, visual arts, dance, museums. I want to see when we all play musical chairs every couple of years, do we need to smash up some of the chairs to make new ones? Let's do that, shall we?
Even though I'm not an artist, I do appreciate the power and the healing power of the arts.
This is in no way a one-sided appraisal, by the way. This also talks about black art, whatever that is. The bits of it that are left, it's no better. None of the so-called leaders have engaged with disability. Basic access isn't even there. Not considered. With that, we're living in ancient times.
In my opinion, it isn't like the silo of race versus disability or gender. It's the connectedness. That's what my artist friends tell me. That's what in my 50-something years, it's taken me from the day I was engaged in the arts in Trinidad. It's taken me 40-something years after that to connect that how there's a real opportunity for having that dialogue. And it's quite interesting. When Ruth gave me, presented the title, I said arts division. And a part of my back of my mind thought, there's a real opportunity, I believe, for actually a new vision.
We talked about so engagement, recruiting, and then succession planning. So it's not about just giving somebody an opportunity, but it's seeing their sort of trajectory through an organisation and what that looks like at the end as well.
We said, what is it that we need to do today? The final question, and we said talk past today and before the next event. Yeah, carry on the conversations with the people we've met and extended before the next one.